Shalom Uvracha. What did Avraham Avinu do to justify HaKadosh Baruch Hu's choice in him? Why was this choice warranted, justified? The Pasuk tells us a very central Pasuk in the annals of Avraham Avinu, Parashas Vayera. Ki yada'ativ, Hashem says of Avraham Avinu, Leman asher yatzaveh es banav ve'espesu acharav, he'll instruct his household after him. V'shamru derech Hashem, they'll keep the way, the path of Hashem. La'asos tzedaka u'mishpat, to do tzedaka and to do mishpat, justice. There's a derech Hashem in the world. There's a way of God. There's a path of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Like the book Derech Hashem of the Ramchal, which is named after this Pasuk. And what is the Derech Hashem? What is the path of God? As it were, what's HaKadosh Baruch Hu's identity card? How does he reveal himself in the world? The answer is, V'shamru Derech Hashem la'asos tzedaka u'mishpat. So mishpat, we generally know what that means. It means to do justice, to make sure that we don't skew, we don't corrupt the justice. We make sure that the disadvantaged within society, the ger, the yosem, the almana, the stranger, the orphan, the widow, all of them will get their justice, the justice that we deserve. Absolute equality in the eyes of the law, absolute justice. And justice means, on the one hand, to do the right, but on the other hand, to make sure that it's within the boundaries, within the framework of a reality that will enable, that will make sure that justice will be implemented. That's mishpat. But what does tzedaka mean? We're quite used to the word tzedaka meaning charity, to give money or something else to the poor in order that he should be able to eat, to live, to survive, to thrive. That's how Chazal used the word tzedaka. But in the Torah itself, if we look at other psukim with the word tzedaka, we find that it has a different meaning. When in the bris bein habesarim, when HaKadosh Baruch Hu promises Avraham Avinu that he'll have children and they'll inherit the land, then the Pasuk says, Vayamen b'Hashem. Avraham Avinu believed, he had faith, trust in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, v'yachshaveh lo litzedaka. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu considered it for Avraham Avinu as tzedaka. Rashi says, tzedaka and schus. The Ramban asks on Rashi, what kind of a schus is it to believe in HaKadosh Baruch Hu? But that's the simple meaning of the Pasuk. Like Rashi says, HaKadosh Baruch Hu considers this as a tzedaka for Avraham Avinu. But that doesn't mean giving charity to the poor. What's the meaning of tzedaka in the psukim? Later on in Sefer Dvarim, the Pasuk says, Utzedaka tieh lanu, for us it will be tzedaka, if we'll keep all the mitzvahs of HaKadosh Baruch Hu kasher tzivanu, as he instructs us. What tzedaka is it? It sounds like the word in English grace, or something along those lines. How is this the derech Hashem? What's the path of HaKadosh Baruch Hu to do tzedaka in this sense? I think that the word tzedaka clearly comes from the word tzedek, righteousness. But when we add the extra hey, then it doesn't mean just to do the right. It means to internalize the just, to internalize the right, so that everything that we do is in line with the path of the just, with the Mesilas Yesharim, another sefer of the Ramchal, to walk the path of the just, to walk the path of the right. In Hebrew, there's an equivalent to this in the differentiation, the distinction between the word yashar, meaning straight, and the word yoshra. Yoshra is a modern Hebrew word meaning integrity. A person can be straight, meaning he's reliable, he doesn't tell an outright lie, he does what he says, he's a straight guy. But to have integrity means that you've internalized the concept of being straight, the concept of being just, the concept of having this not only as a way in which you act, but having this as a real character trait that colors or that defines everything that a person does. Then it's a person with integrity. It's something, the scope of someone with integrity is far broader, is far deeper than that of someone who's a straight guy, he's reliable. The same thing with tzedek and with tzedaka. When it says that Noach was a tzaddik lefanai badarahu, he's a righteous person. He does what he's told, he's reliable. But when the Torah says that derech Hashem is lasos tzedaka umishpat, and that's why Avraham Avinu is chosen, because those are the dispositions, those are the ways that he's going to hand down to his household after him, then it means something much deeper. It means that all of our ways are imbued, are penetrated by the concept of tzedaka, by the idea of tzedek, of righteousness, that pervades everything that we do. We internalize this as a character trait. To walk the path of the just, this idea I got from the Radak addressing the Ramban's question. He answers Rashi and he says, why was this something that Avraham Avinu was rewarded for? He believed in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, so what? Says the Radak, Avraham Avinu was old. His wife Sarah was also elderly. It took a lot of coming out of themselves, coming out of their mindset, to have this trust in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, in Hashem's promise to them. And says the Radak that he had tzedaka, the concept of tzedaka, v'yoyshe levov, a certain righteousness of the heart, an internal truth, an internal righteousness. And that's our job, to follow in the path of Avraham Avinu, which is itself the derech Hashem, the path of God. Lasos tzedaka umishpat, individually tzedaka, to have this internal righteousness, this internal integrity, which on the one hand, like Chazal say, is expressed by giving charity, helping out those who are needy, helping out the poor, but it's also expressed in everything that we do, in all of our ways. And in a public sense, mishpat, justice, in a public sense. Often, justice requires institutions. It requires an establishment. But those two ideas of tzedaka and of mishpat, integrity at home, in the private sense, and in the public sense, in our justice system, those are the basic qualities that HaKadosh Baruch Hu expects us to carry on, those that the derech Hashem that Avraham Avinu brings into the world. Halavai we should be able to do this in a private sense, of course, and halavai in a public sense, here in Eretz Israel, in the land where we're able to try to influence the public space, the public sphere, in the way of Yiddishkeit, in the way of Avraham Avinu. We should all have a wonderful Shabbos.